Go start. Alright, good ignition on. Hey, I thought I'd push the go button. Oh well. Just getting everything ready to spray his texture coat in here. I was going to come down here last night and I fucking fell asleep on the couch. And it was like 8 o'clock when I woke up. After I had tea. I was sitting there watching something on YouTube or whatever it was and I fell asleep. Just because I'm fucking, every time I come home from all that sanding, I'm alright until I sit down and then I just bang, I crash. And that's normally for, might be 20 minutes, half an hour to an hour and a half. And Mrs. normally just leaves me there, but I was going to come back down here and texture coat these because it was 5 o'clock before Mrs. then got back here with that texture coat, so I didn't really get a chance to blow it on before I left, so yeah, so I'll do it now. I wanted to do it last night, but didn't happen. Kind of annoying, but I will still get it done if you want to get done. So. Alrighty. So I've got all that shit coated. Looks good. Looks like I've got a reasonable layer on it. Especially where I want it, where we've done repairs, join bits in and stuff like that. You get a good seal over those welds, I guess, if you know what I mean. Gets in any last little holes and bits and pieces that we might have missed. It just gives it good protection. It dries black, and then by the time I've given everything when we go to paint, we'll give it a quick dust, quick couple of coats underneath, let it dry, put it on the right side up, and then we can maybe do a little light wet sand if any overspray and spray it all black. But yeah, at least these now have got good protection. Hopefully, they won't stop dents, but at least it'll help slow down, and it's not going to get shit, breaking through and rusting out. And so fast. It lasted this long. I can't imagine it being a problem now, but it's good, just good protection. Makes good sense. Well, we blew a bit more in here since I had some left in the gun, and we thought might as well just give it another layer in here. It's a wee bit extra protection. Blew a bit more down in the channels and around the seat pan where I was a bit thin there the other day. So I just have another quick blow in around there. Ain't gonna hurt anything. So yeah, I definitely soaked it in around where we've been welding and whatever, and jointing and stuff like that. So it'll just help seal up any nooks and crannies. A bit of extra coating, not gonna hurt it. So that's cool. Alright, I'll bugger off, go get the missus. That'll give this time a bit to dry. I know it's not going to be dry in 5 minutes, but as the temperature comes up, it'll be alright, and then we can demask it and block this out, and we can hopefully get one of these that we can dry, and we can use a panel stand, or we can use half that anyway. I can sand a bit of one of those hood sides or bits and pieces. We can get them a wee bit further, sand the body, and then when we can get the shit out of the road, I want to sand the back of that chassis as well. So yeah, we're making headway. These still need obviously primed. So yeah, we'll get all these bits primed again today, later on. I would have liked to have done it this morning, but it just didn't quite work that way. So yeah, the doors are good to go. We'll give these a block out 400. See where these are. These should only need, like I said, wet sand with some 600. I'll call into the local hardware store and get some 600. I might grab about 4 or 5 sheets of 600, just in case we have any issues with colour, and some 800. I think I've still got about 1,500 and 2,000 here. I've still got plenty of those. Well, I've got a few of those pads, those 3,000 pads. We can give those a wet sand. Might even wet sand that with 400 first, and then give it a quick rub out with 600. We'll see how that comes up. I think it should be okay. It should be fine, I think. We can check these side pieces. By that stage, this shit should be dry, and we should be able to turn it over and demask it and smash some 4 or 5 on the back of that. And I've got an extra lot of primer here just in case I need it. I hope I don't need it, but if I need it, I've got it. So yeah, we'll go pick up the missus and come back, and we'll block this and block some other bits while this is drying. This should be really starting to turn black. It's starting to turn black now, but by the time I get back, which will be 20 minutes, half an hour, by the time she sorts herself out, it'll be really starting to turn black. So that's cool. Just leave the door open, leave the sun pouring in on it. Can only help. Righty. So you can see the blocks don't lie. Those acrylic blocks. They really flatten stuff out, and Mrs. was just using the Dura block on this side. But it still looks good. It's a wee bit of a funny spot there, but I don't think it'll be too bad. It'll be one of those things that, with another coat, hopefully, I might just miss that. I think I've got some little bit of just that rattle can edge here left. I think might just give that a wee dust and just give it another wee block with the acrylic block. It seems they definitely work better than those. It's either that or it's just the way I'm sanding it. Just trying to see if I got a. That's not gonna work there. Not be much that's left. That's enough to give me a guide. I don't want to sand too much because there's already steel showing, but right. Straight into the tripod. I'll throw clinkers on. Sand. Right. Let's see how much that Durablock lies. This is why people will have a little starting to use acrylic blocks, then high end stuff. So don't lie. Same. You know what I mean? If you can still see it, right? So I can stand from the other direction. Well, you can see what the Dura block left. You know, like it's quite a lot uneven, and like you'd end up with an okay paint job, but it wouldn't be really super flat. And to be honest, it probably doesn't take any more effort to do it this way than what it does with a Dura block. Bit of acrylic, you know, different thicknesses. I'd like some thin stuff as well, some like really thin. Round the edges off, like take all the sharp edges off obviously, around the corners. Try and get yourself some half decent sticky back. Some half decent sticky back paper. This stuff isn't very good, but depending on where you are in the world, like you've got 3M and a lot of other stuff, which I haven't managed to find a decent source of yet. But yeah, make a few different lengths, different widths, even the little tiny ones like I've got from like all those different sizes. They're all slightly different lengths. So you've got quite a selection of different sizes there. These are quite long. tried to make multiples so I can have a couple of different grades of paper on them for different, obviously different times and sanding. So like you could have some with 240 on, some with 400, and if you wanted to, you could have other multiples. Yeah, like to be honest, I'd actually like a set that I have 80 grit on as well, all the time. So I can just write on the back of the block, whether it's 240 or 400 or 320 or 80 or whatever. Even the 80 grit ones make a hell of a difference, just to knocking that panel out and make sure it's reasonably flat before you even get to primers, you know what I mean? Right, almost ready to prime again. A small fucking issue. I'm not really sure what happened, but I can kind of guess. This has been flexed. I don't know whether I did it when I was fucking drawing this hole out just before or not. You can see here, there's a small crack in the frickin' body pillar, because this is where I welded the panel in. There's a little brace in there, but for some reason, I don't know whether it's got flexed or whether it's because this fucking moves around so much, just the way it's designed. Like I re-welded all this and braced it all up the best I could without adding extra shit in there. But yeah, it's fucking cracked through here now. And I was just having a look, and I think it's split down here too. I'm not sure whether that's cracked. It almost looks like it's cracked here too. This is a pain. Just having a bit of look. I'm just going to check the other one, but it looks like it's all where I've sanded and whatever. I don't know whether it's when I was just drilling these holes out. I thought, shit, I better drill them out. I was having a decent look just to clean this shit up here. And fuck yeah, it's all cracked. So I don't know whether it's flexed or what, but I'm going to have to frickin' dig all this out now and re-frickin' apply body fluid down here, so I can't fucking spray this one, which pisses me off. I probably can, I could probably spray the rest of it, just miss down here and I'll have to fix it and then re-blend it in. I might do that. I might just miss this fucking bottom piece. I need to grind it out and smear a bit of frickin' mud or something down in there and up in here. Fucking pain in the ass. It must have just flexed too much or something. I can see why this was partly cracked and broken in places, but pain. I'm about ready to, well, I'm just getting myself sorted to mix some frickin' paint up, or body, high build. So I've just wiped everything down and blown everything down and whatever. I was just, thought, oh frickin' I'll draw those holes like these ones here. This one here looks right. Yeah. Isn't cracked anyway. I can see. Probably could fucking put some putty in there, but I'll try it. I'm going to fucking smash some coats on here anyway, so hopefully I might fill it. Otherwise I'll just have to sneak a wee bit of glazing putty in before we do the last sand out. But yeah, it's so fucking annoying. I only just seen it too. I was like, what the hell? It's cracked. And then I was like, oh, it's down here too, and it's freaking over here. So I thought I'd look down and see how far it went. So yeah, you can see it opening there as I pull on that. So yeah, it must be just, I don't know, it's just the way that frickin' it's held together, I think. I don't know. It's a pain in the ass, because I can't leave it like that. Because it'll crack and split, and then the fucking water will get in there and, you know, push all the fucking body filler off at some point. Yeah. Weird. Just can't understand why it's cracked so much. But I'm going to have to dig it all out. Pain in the ass. I don't know if I can dig it out and then frickin' mud it back in before I have to paint it. I'll check the time, but I just don't think I've got enough time. So I want to get this stuff primed. Because tomorrow's Saturday. I know I'm not going to get this painted this weekend. I was hoping to, but at least get the black on, but we're not quite there. If I'd got that stuff on here yesterday, I might have been a bit closer. It wouldn't have made a lot of difference. Wouldn't have made a lot of difference. So I still blocked out the body this morning. It's not looking too bad. I filled a few places. Some of the glazing putty I've knocked hard back. By the time we smashed 5 or 6 coats on it, it'll block back through to that and it'll level itself out all at the same time. But yeah, just trying to think what I'll do. Rolex disc maybe. and just whoop along there and dig that out. Damn it. Well, I just dug it out with one of those freaking Scotch Brights. The angle grinder, I just run it in there. Just dug it out along here and along there. So I'll just mix up some body filler and we'll smear it in there and we'll try and get it as clean as possibly can, and then we'll sand it off and we'll blow some high build on there, and we'll hopefully try and catch what we can with the glazing putty. Maybe another couple of coats of high build later on. We'll catch it again. It's just a pain in the ass. It's frickin' split down through there. I don't know why. Hopefully it doesn't do it again. Not really sure why. But anyway, I don't see any cracks along here, so I just did it through here and through there. We'll just mix some more shit up and fix it. Pain in the ass, but anyway, this is only a little rear. I tell you what, that frickin' net sandpaper is so frickin' handy. I just put it on there in one of those hard blocks, and I just rubbed the hard block down there. Obviously we've still got a bit of a hole, but I've filled most of it. So I'm just going to mix up a wee bit of glazing putty, and I'm just going to smear in here and back over here, and wait till it's sort of 3/4 gone off again. And then I'm just going to rub it over it again, and then we'll frickin' layer it in some frickin' high build. So we can get this, see if we can get it close anyway, and at least then, once it's got some high build on it, take the shit out of there. At least then we might better frickin' pull it back and not, having to spend frickin' hours dialing it back in. We might better just get enough high build on there to fill any other imperfections, because I've ground a bit of a line in there, but hopefully with the high build I can just block it out, it will get enough layers on there, it won't matter, it'll just fill. I'm hoping. I didn't really want to use that paper, but I thought that was probably the quickest way, and the stuff that's not going to clog up, it did, but you know what I mean? And sort of give it a bit of a bang and shit falls back out of it, and so you can sort of clean it up. But I'm going to just mix a wee bit of glaze, smash in there again, because it's probably 85-95% gone off. So I'll just smash a little bit of glazing putty over the top, leave it for a few more minutes. I might just get it dialed in enough. If I leave it for half an hour, just let it go off, give it a wipe down, and then we should better hopefully smash some high build on it and get away with it. I'm hoping that worked, because I put that disc on it, fucking just ground it out where it was, and we'll just put a thick bit of frickin' body filler in there and just scraped it out the best we could. Left it a bit proud. That on there, give it a quick knock off. Yeah, we might just, it mightn't cost us too much time, but it's still a pain in the ass, but we might have got away with it. Anyway, I'll get some glazing putty, get it in there and stop waffling. Hopefully we get some, see if we get some primer on this thing before it maybe rains. Right, so I managed to salvage that. Obviously we'll really clean it up later on when we get some high build back on here. Like there's a couple of little low spots still, but we'll smash some high build on it, like all the rest, and we'll go from there. You've pretty much, well, I wouldn't say I saved it, but I managed to repair it. Hopefully it's fine. Hopefully it doesn't crack again before we get it bolted on. I think once it's bolted on, and that's taken the weight, I think it's just probably when I was trying to drill through here, it was enough to make it flex, and because it's a bit of a funny way it's built. It's not built as strong as as the Studebaker. It bolts on from the side instead of on top, which is probably the reason why it's better. It's not flexing this, it's down here with the rest of it, and it's got more, more than just 4 frickin' bolts, and it's got quite a few. But anyway, and it's also got the brackets that tie it through from side to side, which will just make it stronger. So hopefully it doesn't crack. all we can do is prime it and hope for the best, I guess. So we'll get some primer mixed up and we'll get spraying this shit because I'm kind of over it now. I want to get it done, so it's about 4 o'clock, so that'll hopefully give me a chance to. Shit dries pretty quick, so I should better get 5 coats on before Mrs. comes and gets me. Since she's got the car, and then we'll start sanding some of these other pieces out tomorrow, so we can so we can try and get this frickin' black on this thing. Hopefully I only have to do 1 prime after this shit, but on all the black stuff, we'll find out. Righty, so I got all this stuff primed. I can't remember how many coats, about 5 I think. Had a bit of an issue because it's getting quite hot. I had to thin this down because it was actually drying before I could get it on the panel at one point. So I was obviously starting to go off a wee bit in the thing, so I had to put a wee bit more reducer and just thin it out a wee bit more, and then it started flowing nice again. So it's actually quite, I don't know what the temperature is, but it's quite warm. We've had a lot of north winds, so the temperature's up quite, it's pretty hot. But yeah. So we've got these primed out again. This one here, where we had that frickin' crack brake. Hopefully I can block that out reasonably well. Obviously we have to put a bit more glazing putty in it and try and chase it a little bit. But I think we'll be alright. We'll just have to freaking try and get rid of this bit of shit down here. I thought I had that cleaned up a little bit better than that, but I was in a bit of a hurry. But it doesn't look too bad considering it was cracked, and then I freaking run along with the Scotch Brite and tore it out and then freaking backfilled it. We'll see how all the rest of it blocks out, but we'll obviously at least one more prime, if not two. Let's just see, there's a freaking shitty spot there I must keep freaking missing. Just a couple of little pits there, but I'll block them out again. Chase it. Glad I got that out of the freaking 4 litres. Hopefully I don't need it, but I think all the rest of the other stuff's okay. We'll tell. I haven't sanded those other the actual side pieces, these bits. I haven't sanded them properly yet. I can't remember, but we'll give them a good rub out and whatever. I think the tops and that are pretty good. We'll find out. We'll give them one more rub out. But if they only need one more, we'll just give them a couple of coats, and then, like I said, 600. If it needs any more than that, we'll blow another 3 or 4 on and chase, and hopefully we pull them up. So yeah, block her out tomorrow, reprime. Hopefully, as long as the weather's okay. I think it's, I don't know if it's meant to be any good or not, but we'll find out. But I'm going to go home and have some tea and whatever. That shit dries quick when it gets freaking hot like this. I actually probably almost need a slow reducer, activator, hardener, whatever you want to call it. I'll say it normal, innit? Just standard. Could probably almost do with a slow, just at this time of year, just to, so it doesn't go off quite as quick. Just give you a little more work time. It thickens up quite quick in this temperature. Like, you wouldn't want to mix any more than a couple of potfuls. Enough for a couple of potfuls in your gun. I wouldn't mix any more than that with that. It must be like, it wouldn't be 30 degrees C, whatever that is in Fahrenheit, I don't know. But it would be getting up towards there at the moment. So you definitely need the slower, or put a bit more thinners in it. It goes off pretty quick. We'll get out of here, and it's good that it dries fast, but it's almost a little fast today. But it's all good. Right, catch you later on. Right, morning. So just changing I wouldn't say all of the blocks, but a fair chunk of my blocks over to 400 since we primed all that stuff last night. I'm hoping I don't have to go back to 240 with them, but it'll just depend on how stuff comes up. But it seems to be blocking out nicely, and don't end up with any major crazy patterns or bits and pieces got to be pulled back hard. We'll just keep going with 400. If we find anything that looks really crappy, well, we'll switch back to a bit of 240 and then hopefully chop back to 400. We'll just see how it gets on. So I'm just changing some of these blocks back. Put some 400 on them. Right, so that's the first one blocked out. Probably if we didn't have all those issues the other day, or yesterday, that we've still got a little bit of chasing here to do, but considering that I had to grind all that out and fill it back up, we're not too bad. Like, we've got a few little marks that I'll have to put a little bit of glazing putty in, and obviously I'm going to actually put a B bit in here. I freaking keep forgetting about this. This is like, it's got a metal brace in there, so I can't panel beat it very flat. So we'll smear a little bit of glazing putty in here, and there's a couple of little freaking pinholes that we'll get, and we'll tidy this up. But I think generally we got it pretty good. Again, there's a couple of freaking holes here, but I think I'll do a wee bit more than just two, just to pull it up. But we needed a little bit of something. There's a little freaking low spot in here somewhere. Was it? Oh, there. Maybe you might get it with primer this time. But yeah, it's pretty good. This needs a little bit of primer over it, just to. It's like, it's a high spot there and a high spot there, but there's like, the putty just won't sand off there because this is high. So it just needs a bit more of a coat there, hopefully, to block out smooth. I think the rest of it's okay. I have to have a decent look around the edges when I get it in a slightly better position for light. But the rest of it's pretty sweet. Yeah, the rest of it's pretty good. The rest of it's pretty good. I think by the time it's wet sanded out with 600, if we can just pick up those couple of little frickin' problems. What I might do is actually glaze and maybe just spot prime and sand out, and then do a full coat. We'll just see, because that shit does dry pretty quick. Primer on might better, just, not that I really want to be doing that, but because spot priming's all right when you're not fucking running with 2-pack, because you can just pour a bit in the primer and pour a bit in the gun and, you know, blow her on, and if you got a little bit left over, you just tip it back in the can, away you go. But yeah, anyhow, I'll carry on. We'll start sanding that on. Righty, so I'm sanding out the left hand front guard. So just started basically down here and working my way up. Needs a bit more sanding down here, but I'm just trying to get it smoothed out, and then we'll obviously read it backwards and forwards. See, Cletus McFarlane put another video out. So he's got Steve Morris's EC Mix now for mullet, so that'll be interesting. 5,000 horsepower, so you know, like, it's another, well, I think he pushed that other motor to a bit over 3. So now we've got another, you may as well say 2,000. I'm not really sure what he was getting out of that motor the other week when it blew up. It's sick week, but I know that pass was looking fast. Yeah, I know that pass was looking fast before it blew up, so if you look at the data, the video they put out in the data log and stuff, what they were doing. I think it rolled through for mid-6. It blew. It, like, I don't know if it was half track, but it was a wee bit after that, I think. But yeah, to still run through it at a mid-6. I can't remember if it was a 6.7 or, I don't know, I have to have a look back through the videos, but shit. You know, 5,000 horsepower. It's street drivable pro mod, basically. That's going to be interesting. wow, that's going to be fast. There's not many, there's quite a few of them doing 5s, but shit, not many. A lot of them doing 6s, but I think there's only a couple that are that have got those engines and doing 5s, and he's, you know, there really, but he's running 6.4 with, I'm guessing, you know, around 2,000-ish horsepower less, you know, about 3,000, I guess, change. Who would know what he was actually pushing out, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah. I hope he's prepared for it. That's going to be a lot faster. You really want to have the safety gear frickin' sorted out for that sort of speed, because when shit goes wrong, you know, far out. Right, there's a concept of about 3.5 or is it 4 hours. I blocked out the top of this. Like I haven't even finished from the front here, haven't blocked the side or anything like that, and I'm not finished here. It's looking pretty good, but I'm not finished here on top yet. Close. And that one, that's all I blocked out this morning in 3.5, 4 hours. Like, people just don't quite grasp the concept of what it takes to finish this stuff. Admittedly, this did take longer than it should have. It shouldn't have taken me that long, but we were trying to deal with having to fix this late yesterday before I primed, and it's come up pretty good. It needs a little bit of stuff. I want to get that one a wee bit further. I've already picked up a couple of little spots where I need to put something in. That will be probably too much for primer, but it's only a couple of little, like right in the middle of about here somewhere, is like a little brick and like a small hole that will show, especially being black, you know. And there's obviously a few little bits and pieces on here, but it's almost, we're down to the nitty gritty of almost nothing, if you know what I mean. I'm thinking this will take out with paint, but I might just have to be really fine. That's the only thing. What could I say? The only thing that, from all my years of experience, I know the glazing putty is way better than this tube. Like I'm talking 25, 30 years ago. The old man always used to have looked like a big massive tube of toothpaste, and it was spot putty. And I know it's like a single stage thing. The only thing I can say that's better about that stuff is if you had like a little fine scraper, like even a little metal one, you could put like a little dot on the end of it, and you could go along and, where's that hole? Here. The hole here is actually might be a couple of them. if you had just a wee dot or so on the end of your little scraper blade, you could come along and you could just smear it across there and have almost nothing left on top. And you could probably do something similar with that, but because you've got to scrape it out and mix it up on here, it's not as easy and it's not as fast. It's probably a better product because I know the old spot putty used to shrink a bit, but if they had something like that again, that was a better product, I would almost use it over that. That's good because it will fill. You can use it a bit like body puller. Actually, you see they've got a freaking piece here to fill too. Whereas that, same sort of thing with that bit of spot putty, you could come along because it was quite stiff. It wasn't quite so sloppy like that is to a degree, I guess, if you want to call it that way. And you could just smear it into a piece, and like you could fill that. But yeah, like that's good stuff. I really like that stuff. But that's the only thing I can used to think with the old tube of spot putty. You can just squeeze the end of it a little bit, get a little dome on the end, and you could just scrape it across where you wanted it, and fill all those freaking tiny little holes without having to mix up a dollop and then trying to do the same sort of thing. You could just come along with the tube and use it. It was fucking good stuff. Like, I know it wasn't ideal because it did used to shrink, but if you had allowed it the time to shrink, it was good. But yeah, it'd be good if there was a more of a modern equivalent to that. There probably is, but you know what I mean. But anyway, I'm going to go have some lunch. The owner's actually meant to turn up here and meant to pick up all this crap that he was meant to take away ages ago. I think he's going to go through everything over there and work out what he wants to take away with him. I think he's going to take the woodwork away and start making like the floorboards and stuff, and things like that, which would be really freaking handy. So he's going to collect a lot of that garbage and take away. Yeah, I will make the running boards from it at some point. I'll just see what he wants to do when we finally get towards the end of it. If I get a chance, even if it's a couple of weeks afterwards, I might come down here one Saturday or Sunday and finish making them. And work out just what I'm going to do. Because I do have the material here for it. But I think he's going to take all the wood away and bits and pieces, and probably a lot of the other little smaller lights and stuff like that. Like, he can take most of the stuff away. If he just leaves me the bases, I can clean them up and paint them and whatever. But yeah, we'll just see what he wants to do. But anyway, I'm going to go have some lunch. So, we're right down. So I've basically done this. It needs a couple little touches of glazing putty, and we'll probably smash this again with quite a reasonable amount of coats, because it's actually looking quite good now, but it's one of those panels it's not really straight. I've made it as smooth and as flat as I can. So we'll fill a couple of little more last holes that you come across. We'll smash a heap more primer on it. 4 or 5 coats. Hopefully it'll fill the rest and we'll just block it back out again. With probably 400. And then as long as I haven't broken through anywhere, which I shouldn't do. I haven't really broken through in too many places. Only a couple of little spots in it. If I smash it, primer back on it again, I should be able to block it, hopefully sand it out with 400 and then give it a quick wet sand with 600. Valances are just about done. They actually look pretty good. I've still got to sand this edge, but generally they're pretty good, I think. A couple of coats, 600. And I've done 2 front fenders, mud guards. I might do the same as those of that. I might just hit them with 3 or 4 just to be safe. They're pretty good. They are pretty good. But I'll put a little bit of glazing putty in a few little trouble spots. Obviously the one down the bottom where we had to do that repair yesterday, and there's a couple of other little spots in the other one as well. They're not that bad. But if I hit them with another 3 or 4 and give another good block out with 400, and then as long as I don't go too hard with the 400 and break through anywhere, should be just give it a very light wet sand, even just off the palm of my hand, and a bit of 600 wet, and just really smooth it out. We should be good. I haven't done the rear fenders at all. So that'll be tomorrow morning. It's 4:30. Saturday, I've kind of had enough. And we'll take it again tomorrow. Yeah, and hopefully we'll get those blocked out reasonably quickly in the morning, a couple of 3 hours if I can, and then maybe come down here in the lunchtime or after lunch, and then sort ourselves out and blow another 2, 3, 4, depending on what panels it is. These definitely don't need any more than 2. 2 will just give us a decent build, so it's safe to block out with some 600. There's 1 or 2 little spots that come up, but I'll try and give them a couple of reasonably wet ones. When I mix the primer, I think I'll reduce it a bit more than 10. I might go 15 or 20 just to make it wettish, and see if I can get a nice smooth finish the best I can. And yeah, what we might just rub this slightly out with 400 and then 6. So yeah, we'll just see how that works out. But yeah, just see how smooth it comes up. Yeah, just rub it out. 600 pull it back pretty quick anyway with wet. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. I don't think there's anything that's really sticking out on this. Might be a bit more block there. It's a couple of funny marks, but yeah, we're looking pretty good. Balances are pretty good. Yeah, I've still got to wet sand the back of that chassis. Might do that tomorrow too. Yeah. We'll try and do that tomorrow morning as well. But yeah, autumn. Yeah, we'll try and do that tomorrow morning just in case it needs anything extra. And then yeah, Monday or something like that, we'll wet sand stuff and try and get some paint on. Yeah, we'll try and get some paint on the fucking thing. It'll be nice to get some paint on these things. But I've had enough. Yeah, I only got a little bit of blocking to do on this. Got a little bit to do on this. And then yeah, finish these off in the morning. Back that chassis and poke some high build on again. See where we're at. But these coming out pretty good. I started with this block first on these, just to try and get it even, and then because it's curved here, I started using that there because it'll flex a little bit into that shape, whereas this it'll pull the corner up, and you do not digging in, so instead of you can kind of come in and smooth it out. And then it doesn't even matter if you do this down this block, it's still going to help smooth it out. So we're looking pretty good. Just those few little issues on those front fenders, but I think we'll just drag the studio in and get ourselves sorted and bugger off home.
Welcome to Iron Outlaws. Stay tuned.
You're not going to want to miss this.